I would normally start these videos off with a joke, but there's something I need to get off my chest, and I don't think that a joke here would be appropriate.
Hi guys, so I don't normally talk about politics on this channel because that's really not what I do here, but I feel like this has gone beyond the realm of politics because this is something that affects all of us. So as you may be aware, Charlie Kirk was murdered on Wednesday, and I don't know if you agreed or disagreed with what he said, and frankly, I didn't really know him that well. I didn't see a lot of his videos, but this did strike home pretty strongly. I guess if I could describe how I'm feeling with one phrase, it's pissed off. Not only at the person who perpetrated the murder, or rather the assassination, but also at the people who are celebrating it. When Joe Biden was diagnosed with cancer, people were celebrating, and that was wrong then, and this is wrong now. To the people who are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, I have a few things that I would like to call you. You are vile, disgusting, vitriolic, horrible pieces of shit. I hope that everything that happens to you in the future is bad, because you do not deserve my sympathy at this point anymore. Somebody was gunned down. Somebody was murdered because he spoke. And that's not okay. And look, it's not lost on me that there was a school shooting on the same day, and literally the next day after that was the anniversary of 9/11. None of this is lost on me. I guess that's all I have to say. But I could not say anything, because this affects all of us, and there's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because I'm trying to make life better for not only myself but other people around me. And you should too.
I know that was pretty heavy, and rest assured that isn't normally how I do things on this channel. I just felt like it was important to say. And I'm aware that I'm probably going to lose some subscribers over this, but honestly, if you're the kind of person to celebrate your political opponent's death, then I don't want you as a subscriber anyways. So this back window has been leaking, and I knew it was leaking, but I neglected to do anything about it, and now the frame that I built around the window was starting to develop black mold, which was a big problem. So I pulled off the old seal and replaced it with a new one. Because the new seal was a bit thicker than the old one, I had some issues getting the window to close, so I drove some screws into the frame so that I could hook something on to pull the window closed. Once that was done, I turned my attention to the passenger side of the bus. All these holes from the rivets needed to be patched before painting, and all the stickers needed to be removed, so I went to work. First, I used the grinder with a sanding disc to clean up the edges of all the holes. Then I used a sander with 80 grit to smooth out the surfaces. As I did this, I also used a razor and eraser wheels to remove the reflective stickers and the black stripe. As a part of preparing for paint, I've been slowly removing things from the exterior of the bus so that I can either replace them or make it easier on myself when it comes time to mask things off. The goal I set for myself on this particular day was to get everything removed from the dog nose of the bus. I started with these convex mirrors. And here's where I have a bit of a complaint about Bluebird's quality control. As you can see, all the screws holding these mirrors on are stainless. The problem is that they use regular steel as backing plates. So when you put stainless and non-stainless in contact with each other over a long period of time, the non-stainless will rust much more quickly than if everything was done with all stainless or with all non-stainless. As a result of this, these screws were pretty much impossible to remove without cutting them and using percussive persuasion to get them out. And as a result of that, I ended up breaking the plastic mounting base for these mirrors. Now I wanted to keep these mirrors, so I either have to find a way to mount them without the plastic bases, or I have to do without them. It was the same story for these blinker pods, but I planned to replace these anyways, so I wasn't worried about ruining them. Once that was done, I removed the passenger side mirror. There were a few more rusty spots on the front top cap yet that needed to be addressed, so I used a wire wheel to clean up the rust and then patch it with body filler. While that dried, I removed the old antenna mounting point. I don't plan on having a CB radio in the bus, and this was a potential leak point, so I wanted to get it filled. I then went back and sanded all the body filler, and then primed it all to protect it from the elements. The bumpers on this bus are in desperate need of some refinishing, so I decided that to make things easier on myself, they would have to come off. First, I removed anything that would get in the way of this bumper coming off, and then I began cutting the bolts. I would have taken them out normally, but like most of the things on this bus, they were rusted into place. And with a solid kick, the bumper came off. This thing is just under a 1/4 inch thick, so it's heavy. I'd cleaned up all the holes on the passenger side, but I hadn't filled them yet, so that was my next order of business. So my main goal was not to get everything smooth just yet, I just wanted the holes to be filled. It's gonna look ugly for a bit, but I will have to come back and smooth everything anyways, so I didn't care. I won't go into too much detail into what I'm doing because you've seen it before, but it's basically just slapping on some body filler, sanding it down, and priming it. And it was right about here where I ran out of primer, so I had to move on to something else. And that thing was the rear bumper. Now if you thought the front bumper was a heavy sucker, you ain't seen nothing yet. And if you want to see more examples of Bluebird's poor quality control, this bumper support was only held on with one bolt. I don't know if it got loose over time or if it broke off or whatever, but there's only one bolt in there, and it was loose. And of course, what I do to one side, I must also do to the other. Which meant that it was time to start on fixing the rivet holes on the driver's side. I only got so far because I ran out of eraser wheels, so I'm going to finish this video off on that note. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.